Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Empower Sessions special guest interview. I'm Brendan, Chief Program Officer over at Urban Initiatives, and we are incredibly excited to welcome Jamal Mayers to our special guest interview as part of our Urban Initiatives Empower Sessions. Jamal, thanks for being here with us. We're excited to have you on.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited to talk about Jamal's experiences and career because he's got a long list of accomplishments. So I'm gonna just start going through some of these exciting things that he's done with his life. Jamal had a 15-year-long career in the National Hockey League and retired in 2013 after winning the Stanley Cup with the Chicago Blackhawks. I believe Jamal was actually the third player on the team to hoist the cup after the big win, which for those of you who know hockey, that's an awesome honor and showing respect from the team. Jamal has actually stayed involved with the Blackhawks as a community liaison, supporting several of their programs throughout the Chicago area that connect youth to the impact and the values of hockey. Jamal and his wife have 3 children. Jamal's told me a little bit about their athletic pursuits. It sounds like they're all going to be pretty impressive athletes themselves. And then finally, Jamal's been an advocate for diversity and inclusion within the NHL and has even released a children's book recently based on his own story titled Hockey is for Me. Jamal, thanks again.
Appreciate it. That was, you can travel with me. I like that intro. It's pretty good. It sounds pretty impressive.
You keep me around. I'll keep practicing it. We'll get that going. Today we're going to revisit our Empower Session theme of stress management. And Jamal, one thing that we shared with our Empower Sessions before is that stress management really involves being aware of how our emotions, our feelings, our body is being impacted by different circumstances or pressures, and then really taking steps to avoid the negative impacts of that, and really then instead support positive responses and actions. And right now could be a more stressful time for many in our community. And we'd love to start off just by hearing, how have you been impacted by this pandemic? And what are some things that you are doing to take care of yourself and your family at this time?
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity. I think for a lot of us, it's strange times, being stuck at home and having to shelter in place, and the only visits you make, one person leaving the house to go to the grocery store. It's made for a challenge. Having daughters that are 14 and 11, and a son who's 7, who otherwise are extremely active with their sports. The girls, their main sport is soccer, and they also play basketball and other things. And then my little guy loves hockey, so not having the opportunity to be around their teammates, to be playing those games, has been difficult for them. Fortunately, we try to create a little bit of a routine. And I think that that's been the most important part for us as a family, is to get up in the morning with intention. I think that creating that routine has allowed us to have some fun with it, to enjoy the small things and the time we are having together as a family.
That's awesome to hear. I think those are really good principles to think about and put into practice, right? Having that routine and then incorporating that physical activity into that routine. I think that I've seen so many times just the positive impact that can have on a mindset, on the way your body feels the rest of the day. I appreciate you sharing that insight with us. So thinking more generally, kind of just outside of even the current circumstances, what are some ways you typically experience stress, or how have you experienced stress in the past? And then what are your strategies or tips for managing stress?
One of the things I like to do is break things down incrementally and celebrate those small little achievements, if you will, throughout the day. And then by the end of the day, by the end of the week, you've realized that you've accomplished your goals, and it doesn't seem as overwhelming as it initially had.
Yeah, I think that's something that is just really critical to keep in mind when you're feeling stressed, that, those feelings of being overwhelmed are often what we experience first. And I think that advice to identify what can you control and start taking small steps around that really can make all the difference. Appreciate that input. So this is kind of building on that, but when we experience stress, what are some things that you think we can learn from stress in the moment and then long term?
Well, I think sometimes those stressors can actually bring out the best in you. And you think in those moments, you wonder, how am I possibly going to accomplish a given task? And you come out on the other end and you survive it. I think you should take a minute and celebrate those victories and realize that, you know what? Those are the things that give you strength. Those are the things that make you the person that you are. And without that journey and the struggle to accomplish anything, it's not going to feel as rewarding. So I think that take pride in those moments, understanding that you are stronger than you really think, and that when you do get through those things, you'll be able to look back have some high, look back and be very appreciative of those experiences, because they've shaped you and made you who you are.
Thinking about stress, are there any other emotions or feelings that you feel like can be a good indicator of, hey, I'm feeling stressed right now, I should probably think about the opportunity to take positive steps here?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of times where you're going to feel stressed or overwhelmed in a situation. For me, whether there might be some breathing techniques or some, you might just sit down and give yourself a minute to breathe and stretch. And let's say you have an overwhelming task or things that you have to accomplish, write everything down that's going to get you to that end goal. And as you are able to check off certain boxes of completion, there'll be some satisfaction in doing that. And then you'll also feel less overwhelmed as you're able to go through whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. So I think it's important to understand that you're also not alone. A lot of people, almost everybody's going to feel those moments of stress, and it's normal. It's good to talk about it if you have someone that you can talk to as well. So don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid to talk to someone or find support around you to help you. For the most part, it doesn't matter in what endeavor you're in, people are going to be willing to help and assist you to help relieve some of that stress. And
Jamal, thank you so much. You've given us so many just nuggets of wisdom to reflect on in this conversation about stress management. I really appreciate the guidance to think about what you can control and taking those steps to really respond to that moment, set those goals. And by the end of the week, you realize you've accomplished something. You've given us a lot of good things to think about. Thank you for being part of our special guest interview series as part of our Empower sessions. We hope you and the family stay safe and healthy during this time. And we can't thank you enough for being part of our team and joining us for this session.
Well, I really appreciate you having me on, and I'm a huge fan of everything that you guys do.